We'll state a fact here, Aidan. It's obviously not a nice one to state, but the penalty in the Donetsk People's Republic for being... You're a mercenary.
Yeah.
Do you accept that you're a mercenary?
Yeah.
What are you, Aidan?
A mercenary.
Okay. It is a death penalty. Can you give a reason as to why that shouldn't apply to you?
I can't think of any good logical reason other than to spare my life and exchange it for someone that's in Ukrainian captivity that could return to their family. So I think that would be one of the good reasons to keep me and exchange me for someone such as Viktor Medvedchuk, so he can return to his family.
Okay. And what would you like to say? Obviously, I've been following your case, and I've been following reaction. You understand there are a lot of people who are very angry with you in Donbass, in Russia. I'd like to look to camera. What would you like to say to the people of Donbass?
So I know you hate me, and sorry can only get you so many emotions, but it doesn't express my true apologies for being in the circumstances in which I am. If I could take it back, I would have left long ago. But that's not the case. What's done is done. All I can ask is that you forgive me, and accept that I surrendered and tried to desert from the Ukrainian forces. I can't think of much more there is that will...
What do you know about the city? We're in the city of Donetsk just now. What do you know about the city of Donetsk, Aidan?
I just know it's the regional capital of the DNR.
So founded in 1869 by a Welshman.
Yeah, by a Welshman.
John Hughes.
I don't know too much about the city itself, as we were mostly based down south.
City of a million people.
But I can say, you said previously about the bombing. So as I said, because we served mainly down south in the Marine Area Control, I'd never really been to the Donetsk region front lines before. But at the moment we're here in Donetsk, and in my cell I can hear the bombing, and that's a big wake up call for me, because previously before you see on the news there's some fight, there's fights taking place in Donetsk. You never see the bombing from Ukrainian media.
How much do you feel that you were misled by the media, by propaganda? How much did that influence your decision to take up arms with the Ukrainian side?
I would say probably 70%, and then the remainder would be just my wife, because she's Ukrainian, and yeah, I'd say that'd be correct. It's just...
And how accurate are the BBC, Sky, etc., the Daily Mail, and their reflection of the situation in Donbass, in Ukraine?
Daily Mail, I wouldn't trust by a mile, because of some of the previous stuff they've posted where they just get information straight up wrong. BBC also, they have an agenda. So one minute they can be pro you, and then next minute they're pro someone else. CNN, we don't need to speak about them because that's obvious.
How is the morale among Ukrainian soldiers?
During the operation, once we pulled back to Mariupol, for the majority of this operation I spent in a bunker at Battalion HQ because as I said, I refused to fight. But from what I saw from the guys in there, a lot of guys were ignorant of the situation, and their morale was normal. It wasn't till the last week when the airstrikes started getting heavier on our position, which was in the Metallist factory. That's when they started realizing that the Ukrainian government's left us. I said to them ages ago that they've left us. There's I don't know what you expect for this to go. So it wasn't until the last moments that the Ukrainians started feeling their morale go, everyone started becoming silent and realising that they're going to lose, which I said to them was going to be from the beginning.
And what about the relation towards Zelensky? What is your relation to him? And what's the relation among the Ukrainian troops towards him?
I can't say too much about the Ukrainian troops because I never really asked them about what they think about him. But like after this, like after Mariupol, like I said it before, like he left us. He told us in better words, is like look at Mariupol before, and then look at it now. Like if we had left Donbass, like Mariupol would still be a city. Right now, it's graves. Like especially from other like journalists who were following DNR on Russian forces. I saw them giving interviews to civilians who were inside Mariupol, talking about how the Ukrainian military and Azov were like using like the cover of like civilian occupied buildings to fire from with their tanks and whatnot.
By the way, you know in Donetsk 10 years ago it was Euro 2012 football tournament. Donetsk, you're actually in what I consider to be one of the world's great cities, a beautiful city. It was called the City of a Million Roses, twinned with Sheffield, actually, our own Sheffield. We've had a lot of words today, Aidan. From a concrete point of view, what would you be willing to do to atone for the evil that you admit that you've been a part of? How can you propose that you would make amends for that? If
this exchange doesn't go through, I would help rebuild, and that is needed, especially after like Mariupol, because civilians there now, like there's people that have no homes, they've lost their families. It will probably be 10 years till Mariupol looks at least somewhat resemblance of what it looked like before.
So there is one option that you're prepared to physically atone for the evil that you've done by helping to rebuild Donbass.
Yeah.
Okay. And there is another option, that a prisoner exchange. Your hope is in a prisoner exchange. Okay. If it were a prisoner exchange, if that were to happen, what would you do next?
Leave Ukraine. I previously told my wife she left Ukraine because of the operation and the safety in Mykolaiv at the time. So she's now waiting to get a visa to go to Britain to be with my family. And I've already told her, like, once this is finished and hopefully I return, we're going to live in Britain, build a family there, and just forget about Ukraine, because after this I don't want to be in Ukraine, especially...
What is Ukraine for you now? What does it represent?